I want to share with you a day trading tip that's all geared around how I avoid giving back my profits, which is a very real problem. In fact, if you're being honest with yourself, if you're self-aware enough and you have experience, I'm sure you can raise your hand and say, yes, I've had profits and then I ultimately gave them back, or I gave them back plus some more and then it was a red day. We've all been there. So I want to just share with you how I avoid giving back my gains, my profits that I've made from day trading. In this situation, stocks, but this applies to whether you're trading stocks or forex or cryptocurrency or anything like that. But it all begins, and really, I think what you have to start with is more so the psychology behind it. And I should also note that this is not going to be all on the chalkboard here. I'm going to go and show you how this plays out with real life trading results, so you know that there's some practical application here. And this is not me just talking in theory. I'm going to show you the real life results. But how does this all work? Well, I want to go through the sequence here, and we'll break it down each and every step along the way. So first off, you have a trader, right? You or me, anybody trading, and they're going to go out there. Remember, the entire premise is giving back your gains, which would mean that, well, in the first place, you need to actually make money. So in this situation, let's go and just to set up the context, set up kind of the journey that my mind was on. Want to show you exactly how this played out. So let's go and watch the trade where I made some money. So just so you can see, just edited, that's what that little pencil thing right there, 91.75, new flush point. If it can work its way down there. But yeah, right now this thing is definitely showing some strength. But we'll see if it wants to pull back some. And this thing has got so much. All right, making a little bit of a move. Still has a lot of work to be done. 92.50. If it can bounce up over. All right, 91.75 watching. Oh, I missed it. Can it give me a back test? Is it going to bounce up and fill me? Nice. Okay. In at 91.75 on the back test. Let's see if we can get down to at least 91. Well, might need to pull some off a little sooner. I want to give it a little bit more time to see if it wants to push down to 91. There we go. That should do it. Wow. Can it get down through 91 though? Yes, it can. All right, so 200 shares left. Let's see if it can get down through 90, and I'll take off another 100 shares. Come on, get down there through 90. Let's try. Oh, bounce. Should be a lot of buyers there, which there are. But if that fails, then that should really send it down that much. Oh, so many buyers there. Let's see if it wants to break, though. All right, took out another 100 just because I have no problem admitting I don't know if that level is going to ultimately fail or not. I mean, I want to give it an opportunity to get down there. But now it's bouncing. Well, come on, get back down there. Well, I'm glad I locked in those 100 down where I did. Let's see if we can get it to move back in the bearish direction. So now I just have 50 shares left, thinking this thing might want to bounce. You know what? I'm just going to call it good. So very nice, $453. So there we go. Made some money, made some solid money, especially when you compare it to the time that I was actually in the trade. So fantastic. But the sequence then goes, after you make that money, you identify another great setup. So you find something out there and you're thinking, oh, that looks solid. I like the odds. I like the probabilities that I can make money from that setup. But then this is what happens is, for whatever reason, and I'll explain the reasoning here, you go out there and you miss it. Again, what is it? You miss the great setup that could have made you more money, but you miss it. And when this happens, there are some things that will go on in your mind. Because remember, the backbone of all this is, well, you made money already. So I don't want to say that you're cocky, but you're feeling good. You're feeling confident. It by no means is your confidence shooken. You just made a great trade. You put some, your wallet, your purse just got bigger. So you're going to have, again, not quite cockiness, but you're going to be feeling good about yourself. You're going to be feeling confident, which is always a good thing. You want to be confident when you're trading, but that's also the tricky part because you don't want that confidence to swing into cockiness. You don't want that confidence to swing into thinking that you can behave, outside of the boundaries of your strategy and system. But when you miss seeing something, that can get you irritated because you're going to be thinking, I was right. I did the proper thing. I noticed, a setup that ultimately would have worked out. And again, you're going to have and I've already made money. So maybe I'm on a roll today. And once you do that, well, things can get a little sketchy. So let's go and let me show you exactly, how this played out. And again, sense the emotion in my voice, because that's the thing about these live trade video snippets is they're live when I'm doing them. So you truly are getting my raw thoughts, my raw emotions. And when you listen, you're going to notice, I kind of try to laugh it off. I think that's like a coping mechanism for me. I try to make a joke and laugh it off as, and that prevents me from doing anything stupid. But like I said, you can hear it in my voice of just how this starts to influence me. So I'm going to walk you now through the next part. So let's go back to my desktop. Well, I am going to wrap it up, and this is exactly why, because the emotions are surging right now, and I realize my slogan on the site is, trade without emotion, which is not really true. It should be recognize emotion, because emotions will never really go away, and the emotion that I'm feeling right now is just, I should be up basically $1,000 on the day, which is true. You look at this alert that I made down here to the community, FSL round 2 flush point. Again, flush, what direction do you think of when you hear flush? Down 90.50. So made that alert and walked away. And the reason I walked away, let me show you the chart, is there's this green candle. So the chart was looking like this, and I thought, all right, it's bouncing up here. I got time. Because at that point, I was thinking, that really is a setup I like a whole lot. Now, granted, that 90.80 mark, of course, you can argue, well, geez, Clay, you could have gotten 30 cents more, but and the frustrate. I should note, these truly are live. This is not a voiceover. This is not a post commentary. So you're getting my thoughts quite literally as things play out. And I mention that because, look at this. It just keeps dropping and dropping now. So yeah, I definitely need to be done. But anyways, like I said, I thought I had time because that green candle there bounced to the upside. I thought, okay, let me quick, go down and just go downstairs and just, hang out with the kids for just, not even like, let me hang out with them for the next 20 minutes. No, let me just go down, see how everybody slept last night, typical dad stuff. And then, look at that. The very next candle, that nice little solid green candle totally wiped away, went down there. And just to show where 90.50 actually was. So, and honestly, yeah, it's cool. Be like, oh, wow, you made $450 in 4 minutes. But what I'm talking about right now is actually the true value in this video. And any trader with experience will say that because, this is all the psychological stuff. And trading is pure mental. So let's see, 90.50, give or take. What was right there, you can see it broke below there on that candle. And you can see has just continued to go down. It went down literally, what's the math on that? $2, well, easily $2 and $2.75, broad math. I mean, really almost at 87.50, which would have been $3, almost $3 per share. And like I said, I actually wanted that one. That's a beautiful setup. I mean, that is an A+ setup with the way it behaved. And like I said, big green candle. Okay, I got a few minutes. I mean, it'll take a while. It'll probably maybe go up and then come back down. But nope, very next candle, boom, to the downside, boom, there it went. So easily I should be up over $1,000, which I get it. It makes me sound like a greedy savage because it makes me sound like I'm ungrateful for making $450 in 4 minutes. But that's, like I said, that's the mental game. That's why I need to be done, because I am quite frustrated right now. All I can sit here and the one thing that I'm hanging my hat on is that at least I made that alert to members. So at least there's members out there that had 2 very profitable trades on it. The first one that you saw, 91.75, and that one. But that is why I need to officially be done, because the voices of, Clay, you should be up so much more than what you are. And I'm not denying the fact that's a very, very greedy voice. But that's a voice that needs to be acknowledged. And that's what I'm doing right now, acknowledging it. Absolutely crazy, huh? I mean, that thing went, and I just walked away. And it was totally logical. I think that's the other part is when you have a good excuse, then you feel almost that much more entitled to it, right? Because I had a good excuse. That candle was beautiful. It totally looked like it was going to bounce a little bit more, but then no, just like that, everything turned around. So when you add in the fact that you almost have like a justifiable reason to be frustrated because something just behaves like it did there, then you can get just that much, I want to go out there, and then all of a sudden you start to put trades on that you shouldn't be putting on. You start to be putting your money into, opportunities that aren't actually opportunities. And all of a sudden you start taking losses, and then you get frustrated, you take another loss, and before you know it, you've either given back a whole lot of your gains or you've given it all back. And it all starts, again, because you made money in the first place, and then you have things like this play out, which then all of a sudden catapults you into starting to make very irrational decisions. Now it is, it's a fine line. I wish I could say that there's a cut and dry way to always see this, but there's not. So, I mean, what is the actual solution to all this? And really you have 2 things. And the first one here is what you saw me do. Just stop. You're done for the day. You've already made money, so it's not like there's anything wrong with the day. But once you know, and like I said, this is gonna be different for everybody, but for me and how I know how I operate, I can sense the point where I'm just like, you know what, Clay, as much as I want to tell myself, hey, Clay, you're okay. You'll still make rational, good decisions. I know that those are just the voices that are trying to mask up the fact that I'm very frustrated. I'm angry that I've missed out on an awesome setup that could have made, the winning day that much more. So in this situation, I reached a point where I knew. I was confident, no problem about it. Yeah, my mind is all jacked up right now. I need to stop. But there are also situations where, I think I'm okay. And you generally think that you're okay. But in this situation still, reduce. What are you reducing? Your position size. So for example, if you normally do 100 shares, go down to 50 shares. If you normally if you're doing like futures or options, you normally do 5 contracts, go down to 2 or 3 contracts. That way, if there is some sort of underlying issue going on and you're going to start making stupid decisions, then yeah, you might still take some losses, but because you reduce position size and you're controlling risk from that side of things, at least those losses. Yeah, you'll give back some gains, but it won't be a situation where kapoof, everything's all gone, or everything's all gone plus more. You're going to keep that risk much more minimized and under control. So that is, what you need to be aware of. That's how I do it. Is you got to realize first off where it's coming from, and this is one of the very typical situations where it can come from. But then also, so that's a problem. But you also have the solution, and the solution here is that's how I avoid it, right? So you either just stop trading and be done, take your money, go home, live to fight another day, or just reduce. And that'll at least keep your profits that you've already made much better protected. So I'm also curious, how do you deal with it? Like when you understand what's going on from a mental standpoint, when you've made money and then you feel yourself reach to the point of, oh, I don't think I'm quite in the right mental state anymore. I'm curious down in the comment section, how do you deal with it? Like I said, these are my 2 solutions, but I'm not saying these are the only 2 solutions out there. So I'd love to hear from you. Also, just in general, if you like these videos, if you like where I combine the chalkboard with actual live training results, hit that like button. Comments, questions, suggestions, leave those down below. And then also check out the channel as a whole. If you enjoy those live trading snippets, there's an entire playlist on the channel that you can go through and watch all sorts of live trades like that. But at the end of the day, hopefully if you like what you see, you decide to hit that red subscribe button and become a subscriber to the channel. I'd love to have you. So yeah, get out there, be aware of yourself, and consider using this as it's a great way to avoid giving back those profits that you've already made on the day. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.